A federal judge has found probable cause to hold Trump administration officials in criminal contempt for ignoring his order to stop deportation flights. Thank you for joining us this noon. I'm Erica Lopez. The White House has been using a rarely used wartime law to deport people the administration claimed were members of a Venezuelan gang. But that gang involvement has not been proven. The administration flew them to a prison in El Salvador. Back on March 15th, the judge ordered those flights to stop, and he pointed out today he could refer the matter for prosecution if the administration does not obey his order this time. The Trump administration is also suing the state of Maine's education department for allegedly not complying with its push to ban transgender athletes in girls' sports. The lawsuit follows weeks of feuding between the Republican administration and Maine's Democratic governor that has led to threats to cut off crucial federal funding. China is still refusing to negotiate with President Trump, and now the retaliation goes beyond tariffs. Bloomberg reports Beijing is telling Chinese airlines not to order jets from Boeing, America's biggest exporter. China is also putting export controls on critical rare earths, limiting Hollywood films in the Chinese market, adding U.S. companies to its unreliable entities list, and threatening to cut off talks on fentanyl. Back here at home, it's looking pretty gorgeous out there. Blue sky, just a couple clouds. Looks like a little traffic on I-25 right now. But with that beautiful weather does come some high fire danger. Here to break it all down and the big changes headed our way in just a couple days, because what's a typical Colorado weather week without a roller coaster? We have our weather impact team meteorologist Keely Chalmers with us this noon. Keely, we got to enjoy the next day and a half or so because changes are on the way, my friend.
Yeah, enjoy that roller coaster ride, right? We've got temperatures climbing into the mid to upper 70s today, and then we have snow in the forecast for tomorrow night. Yeah, we've got snow in the forecast starting tomorrow night and continuing through the day on Friday. Increasing clouds as we take a live look from our Lookout Mountain Sky Cam. 73 degrees right now at 9 News. Those winds, they are calm. Current temperatures, we're looking at mainly 70s across the plains, although Lamar already up to 83 degrees, 81 right now in Ray, and temperatures in the high country in the 50s and 60s. Partly cloudy, your forecast for today. Again, forecast highs getting up to 77 degrees, little bit breezy. We do have some elevated fire danger to talk about. We see increasing clouds as we head into the afternoon. We're going to reach our high right around 2 o'clock and then really start to cool off from there. Not too bad, still in the 70s at 6 o'clock. Down to the 60s by 7 o'clock this evening. So the warm, windy conditions topping a look at our weather headlines for today. And again, that fire danger is going to be high both today and tomorrow. We do have a sharp front moving through. That is going to cool off those temperatures. Yes, and bring us snow for Sunday. We'll break down the timeline of that snow coming up in your complete forecast in just a bit.
Keely, thank you so much. A 17-year-old driver will face serious charges for a crash in Thornton that killed a man and critically hurt a child. Thornton police say around 8:15 last night, the teen driver was turning onto Welby Road and hit a motorcycle as it was on Thornton Parkway. The 38-year-old driver of that motorcycle died. A 12-year-old girl riding with him is in critical condition. The teenage boy has been preliminarily charged with careless driving resulting in death, but police right now have not elaborated any further. A jury has now spent about 30 minutes deliberating the murder case of a man accused of killing his wife and pretending to be her ex-boyfriend. Daniel Krug faces a first-degree murder charge after a police officer found his wife, Crystal, stabbed to death at her family's Broomfield home in December 2023. Police say she had been receiving texts and emails supposedly from an old boyfriend, but investigators found the IP address used to send those messages originated from Krug's workplace. Because of that, he also faces 2 stalking counts. Today is the third day of the prosecution's case in the murder trial against a man accused of hurling rocks at moving cars. An investigator using cell phone data tied Joseph Koenig to the fatal rock attack that left Alexa Bartell dead. This morning, a Jefferson County Sheriff's investigator showed the jury cell phone tower data that put Koenig's device in the area of all 5 rock attacks that occurred the night Bartell died. But it was a question from the jury that drove home an allegation that after killing Bartell, Koenig drove back past the scene where one of his co-defendants took a photo of her car.
Is it possible to tell if the defendant returned to the scene of Miss Bartell's death? Did they pause at the scene for a period of time? If so, how long did they pause at the time of the incident prior to police arrival at the scene?
It's hard to depict a pause necessarily, but it did appear that the defendant traveled back by the scene again, yes.
Koenig is on trial, charged with first-degree murder and 18 other criminal counts. 2 others involved in the rock throwing that led to Bartell's death have already pleaded guilty and are expected to testify against Koenig. We will have much more on this story today on 9 News. Well, there's a new trail for pedestrians and bicyclists underneath the just opened continuous flow intersection in Douglas County. The ribbon cutting on the trail under C-470 and Santa Fe Drive happened about an hour ago. 9 News transportation specialist Brianna Fernandez was at that unique intersection that opened to drivers this morning.
So the last and final continuous flow intersection opened up early this morning for a lot of drivers. So this is right along C-470 and Highway 85, better known as Santa Fe Drive for a lot of drivers. So Sky 9 footage is giving us a look of what this intersection looks like in Douglas County. So very different than what we're used to. We first saw the changes happen along Highlands Ranch Parkway and Town Center Drive just last month. Here's a refresher for those at home scratching their heads this morning thinking, what is going on at this intersection? So drivers turning left will cross over oncoming traffic at a new signal and into a dedicated left turn lane well before they reach the intersection. While the other drivers, they're going to proceed as they normally would at any typical intersection. The idea of this new intersection is to keep traffic moving, create fewer backups, and make the intersection safer. The traffic team with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office says they've already seen a few crashes, but that's expected with any type of change. There's also changes for pedestrians and cyclists. The C-470 Trail and Highline Canal Trail underpass is right underneath Highway 85. That's now open as well. All these changes are part of the widening project that started back in 2022. So we know that this entire project, the Highway 85 widening project, is expected to be completed later this year in the fall. For now, I'm in Douglas County. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.